Welcome back to The Weird and the Wonderful with Strange Bones. That's me. So, as we get going in our restart, as it were, we have, of course, been dealing with all the things that I'm sure all of you have been dealing with, what with Christmas and all, and I hope you had a truly wonderful Christmas indeed. I hope you have a good cup of coffee as well. And it occurred to me as we were preparing for yet another live that we have done a great deal of things, many, and looked at a great many strange things that are out there. We've looked at a lot of different creatures, monsters, cryptids, and more. We have looked at witches, vampires, elves, spirits, and ghosts. And we've gone through a whole collection of different things. We've touched on werewolves and more. All of those things that are out there, but something that we haven't touched on at all, which perhaps might be suitably interesting, is on those that hunt the creatures. So I thought it would be a good one, as we are finishing off on these things, to touch on not the monsters, but the monster hunters, which I think is a pretty cool idea. Now, as we get going and get started, I'm going to remind everybody you are all very, very welcome. But we have one rule on this channel, which is to say, don't be rude. If you are rude, we give you the boot. Other than that, you are welcome to agree, to disagree, to have as many comments as you wish. Do like, share, subscribe, send gifts, do all of those good things that keep the channel growing for you guys. And I do hope that you absolutely do enjoy it. As I am getting going, I am going to... Mario Duran, welcome. I'm going to say that I hope you have had an absolutely fantastic Christmas, that all of the good things that you hoped for did indeed come true, and your year is ending properly. With that said, hey there, Chandra. We are going to start off now. As you can see behind me, we have a rather interesting picture. And no, it isn't mine. I stole it because I don't have anything quite as cool as this. But of course, if you have a good old look at it, you see there is all sorts of interesting things in the kit. And that, of course, is a deluxe version of a monster hunting kit, and it does seem to have a huge number of different things. And the question is, what is needed to be a monster hunter, and how would one go about such things? And it seems actually, whether or not monsters are real, people absolutely did believe in them over the centuries and developed quite complicated setups in order to deal exactly with the self-samed thing. And there was a whole ton of stuff that you very much needed in order to successfully attend to these creatures. And if you look in the background there, you can see there are varying blades, from choppers to knives, to bullets, to stakes, to mirrors, to knuckle dusters, goodness gracious me, to crucifixes and axes, rifles and mallets, and more. And it seems actually there's a whole collection of of different things that you would absolutely want to have if you were planning on safely attending to these things. Now, of course, in terms thereof, there were differences dependent on varying things, and we do need to speak briefly on the differences dependent. So we're going to run through what I have researched and discovered as to the required things were you to be a successful and hopefully reasonably long-lived monster hunter. As you can well imagine, if you went in unprepared, you absolutely would not be a terribly long-lived one. So being well prepared mattered, and different people had very different idea as to what you desperately needed in order to manage the mystical. So we're going to have a look at that, and we're going to see if we have what it takes to successfully defeat those creatures of darkness. Now, it seems that we have categories, different selections dependent on, and there's a whole group of tools that may or may not apply, and in some cases are dependent, and over the centuries different views in that regard as well. So let's have a quick look at the overview. And of course, as we do that, we give a massive greeting to Mickey, my dear friend. I hope that she will join us on. I've just sent an invite. Mickey, of course, is one of our great supporters and a wonderful person. Mickey, how are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. Yourself?
Good, good, good. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes, I did. Thank you. And you? Did you have a nice one?
I had a very nice quiet one which suited me just fine.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
same
it immensely. So yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking to an equally quiet New Year's.
here. Yeah, I'm just here by my mom for Christmas and New Year's.
Fantastic, the best way.
Yeah, sure.
So I realized that we have a glaring omission in our research. So over this year, we have looked into a great many cryptids, monsters, mythical creatures, and more. But what we haven't done at any stage is look into the monster hunters.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you know what you need to be a successful monster hunter? Well, right off bat, at least from what I've seen, there are a number of categories that you require. Okay, first up, and maybe unsurprisingly, you do need to be fairly fit and quite strong.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because from what I've seen, there's a lot of chasing around involved. And monsters do not stand still.
Not that I'm just...
So, first of all, make sure you are very, very well trained up. Because if you don't have that, you are definitely not going to make it as a decent monster hunter. I see Jacob has joined us as well. Maybe he can join in and give us a bit of advice as well. Who's to say? But that said, we can categorize the things you will require, dear Mickey, if you wish to hunt monsters. Now, what's very, very interesting is the first category is either active or passive. Now, active tools are things you will use to get said monster, and passive is the things that you will use to protect yourself while getting said monster.
Yeah. I
So,
had this. Oh, sorry. I had this fabulous idea this year.
yes,
Seeing that, seeing that I have to walk with a walking stick these days, I was like, I've seen so many interesting, like you can conceal a sword in a walking stick.
yes, you can.
I was like, hey, that's something I want.
Well, funnily enough, I was looking at exactly that just yesterday, because one of the guys that stays by me is the boyfriend of my daughter, really, daughter-in-law, stepdaughter, I don't know. I'm dating their mom, my fiance. So I don't know what that makes him. Nevertheless, he actually is a trained blacksmith.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's made some pretty funky things, including, believe it or not, a proper orc sword, which is the ugliest and most terrifying sword I have ever seen, and guaranteed, if you were ever in a fight with anything, it's what you want, because my God, it would be effective.
I can imagine.
But you would definitely need a fair bit of muscle to swing it. It's a solid piece, but very, very cool. But he found the most beautiful concealed swords. Now, they came in a case that you can mount on the wall that looks like a piece of basically just like wood. It's just like a decorative log, which is really nice. But when you open it up, inside is the most gorgeous walking stick. However,
Yeah, that's something I can do.
when you take the walking stick out and manipulate a small catch near the handle, you pull out the most astoundingly beautifully made Damascus sword. So it's like it's concealed in this decoration, essentially, and it's a concealed sword in a walking stick. And I was just like, yeah, now, in terms of I want one, that ranks up at the top.
Nice, yeah. I need to embrace my issues and get one of those.
No, absolutely. This is one of those cases where choosing violence is a good thing.
Oh yeah, give you some
Though,
confidence.
I will tell you, you know that I do martial arts, right? I
Yeah.
mentioned it before. Well, one of the styles which I do, besides normal karate, is I do, it's kind of an Anglo-Saxon form of quarterstaff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the staff is my main tool, weapon. I love the staff. It's beautiful. And I like to hike a lot, and when I hike, I carry a walking stick.
Yeah.
And I am now thinking what I really need to do is I need to get one of those collapsible tactical hiking staffs that you
Yeah.
can then use for all, because they even come with attachments like a spearhead, and I mean, you
For the
know,
way. That's so necessary, actually. If you're hiking.
right? I mean, if you're gonna do something, go the whole way.
Exactly. That's a good thing to invest in, for sure.
100%. So I'm thinking this is absolutely a way forward, in my opinion. So I'm looking into that.
Yeah.
I mean, come
My
on.
brother-in-law and my sister would be into that because they like going camping and at Kruger.
Absolutely.
That.
And I mean, here's the
Big
thing.
difference.
I like my hiking, my camping, and all the rest of that. And I've been building an Anglo-Saxon inspired travel kit, which includes your small shelter and stuff and what have you, but a modernized version, carrying what they carry, just to see if I can. And one of the things is your staff functions not only as a walking stick, it's the main pole for your shelter, and so on and so forth. So fully, this is the way forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you can add on to that full-on tactical monster hunt, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. I would totally.
So there we go. So let's see if we can inspire you a step further and add on some serious monster hunting-y things.
Yeah.
Now, if you look behind me, as you can see, in the picture there we have a very large collection of crucifixes. This is obviously a Western monster hunting kit because different countries, different religions, but you know. We have knives. We've got what appears to be pretty hefty sized bullets there. We have a file for some reason. We have an axe. We have what appears to be a Bible. We have a rifle. If you look on the other side, we have a very large cleaver. We have a mirror. Mirror is important. You need your mirror. We have some bottles of something funky. We have binoculars. We've got the obligatory mallet and stakes, obviously for vampires. So a fair selection in that picture, but it gets more detailed. So you've got your active, you've got your passive. Within these two, you've also got your physical requirements, your alchemical requirements, and your holy requirements. Okay. Now, some of these do cross over a little bit and they will vary. So if you're Christian, obviously the crucifix. If you are not, it will be something else, but a holy item of varying varieties. You also have your, what we would call additional. Okay, so you need a reasonably good medical kit. Apparently monster hunting is dangerous. So just in case you need patching up yourself, and you need reasonably good armor, because, well, fangs and claws and varying other things, a reasonable selection. Though, looking at what is said in most cases, virtually none of them will go for the serious metal armor. Because mobility matters. Yes, you see. So, but high collared, you got to protect the neck from the vampires. Okay, so keep this in mind. You've got to know your prey. Okay, and then with that, certain general gear such as your travel kit, because obviously, they don't conveniently live in town. You have to travel out to remote locations and haunted castles to attend to these things. And then gear specific. So this is very interesting. Certain gear works on just about everything, which is good. Okay, so that's standard. If you don't have that, you're stuffed. Secondly, some things require specialists. Now, a very interesting point was, in fact, made in one of our lives way back when we were talking about mirrors. Yeah. And modern mirrors, as we well know, are not silver-backed.
Yeah.
But it seems that for a mirror to be effective, for it to work, the whole point is the silver.
Yeah,
which
that's
implies that vampires might be able to be seen in an ordinary modern mirror.
yeah, that's why it's nice to be able to buy a vintage mirror somewhere.
There you go. So make sure your mirror is an original silver-backed mirror, or it
Yeah.
ain't gonna work. So you might be living around a vampire and think, oh, but I can see their reflection. No, no, in the modern day it doesn't count. These are little
Yeah.
details that the expert monster hunter is aware of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do we need to go? Well, it seems that you've got a number of things, certain metals, certain woods, certain plants, certain prayers. All of these things are important. So let's begin with folklore before we come forward to modern. Hey there, Shady. So, standard in your kit. Absolute guaranteed, if you don't have this, you're basically stuffed. You need certain silver items. Okay, this is because silver works on quite a lot of different creatures out there. Yeah, Shady, it has been a while, but you've come back for a good one. I hope you're interested in hunting monsters. So silver in varied forms is absolutely important. Cold iron. Now, I looked it up. Cold iron. What is cold iron? Now, obviously, this is something you're going to need to work on very seriously, because just any iron don't count. Just like your mirrors have to be proper old silver-backed, cold iron is the old style of iron that when you forged it, you haven't used a forge, you simply hammered. Okay, so it's cold forged iron for the most effect. Okay, so you get your old iron stuff out and you shape it just with hammering on an anvil, as I am led to understand. Okay, varying holy symbols are considered to be very important. Varying things like holy waters, sacred texts, specific plants, etc., etc., etc. Rice, particularly for Japanese things, it seems, in varying forms, but top ones, they say. So silver. Nowadays, silver bullets are a good option, but if you can't, you could have silver blades. Now, in terms of, as you probably are aware, silver's fairly soft. So when you get your walking stick sword, Mickey, what you do is you score a groove down the length of it near the blade, and you fill that with silver.
Okay, so it's not.
Right, so the sword itself isn't silver, but
Yeah,
you either have a silvered groove or you plate it in silver, thus keeping the sharp edge, which you also need.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
quite,
I think this is an excellent idea. Obviously, silver bullets never hurt, never hurt. Garlic seems to be useful against a number of things, vampires most especially. But it seems that many of the allium family are useful in that regard as well, and also against possibly other things. So a good staple to have. Wild roses. Now, this is a Slavic thing, so maybe it only works against certain kinds of vampires, but it seems that vampires do not like wild roses or wild rose essence. So, holy water, of course, but that works against a lot of other creatures as well, so a definite one to have on hand. They say that vampires cannot cross running water, but that doesn't fit to every different vampire. So I wouldn't rely on that too much. Crucifixes, of course, for vampires, also good against other evil things, so probably a decent stable. Or if you're not Christian, then obviously a reasonable holy symbol suitable to your faith. Now, I have a problem with the use of things like crucifixes because if you recall, we actually had a discussion about this quite a while back, because does it rely just on the symbol itself, or does your faith matter?
That's the thing, yeah, and I get what you're saying.
Because I mean,
Not everyone's a Christian.
exactly. So if I was an atheist and I grabbed a crucifix and tried to hold off Dracula, would he just laugh at me and say, hey, you don't believe?
Exactly, because you don't believe in it, so how else they can hold any kind of...
Exactly. And added to that, just for fun and games, does it matter what the religion of the vampire is?
Yeah, that's a good one.
You see, certainly in all these Slavic countries, the predominant religion for quite a few centuries has been Christianity. But what happens if I run into a vampire from, say, China?
Yeah, they don't necessarily believe. Maybe just holy water, because holy water is pretty much in
This is it.
anything.
So these are questions that might need to be answered. St. John's wort is a standard. It works against a lot of evil things, including, they say, possibly fairies, vampires certainly, maybe werewolves as well, and so on. So there's that. Obviously, you have to have a mirror.
Sorry, I'll be right back. I just need to go for my charger quick for my phone.
All good, we shall await you. So, having started with vampires and werewolves, we see immediately there are certain things that are very specific to them, and there are certain things that are quite general. Now, if we jump across to demons, right at the top of the list, of course, again, you've got holy water and other blessed materials, dependent on faith. Symbols of faith, yes. Salt, yes. Salt circles are effective against a lot of things. So if you're going to be any kind of monster hunter, you need a fairly large bag of salt. So right away, there's that. I would question, though, is it better to have natural salt, like, say, Himalayan pink salt, or are we good with your standard made in a laboratory sodium chloride? These are important questions as well. Now, they do say special sigils and names specific to the demon in question, which I would be very dodge about. Cold iron, again, yes, definitely. So you need not only a decent weapon, some cold iron weapons as well. So if you're going for the whole pew-pew route in that regard, a selection of different tips to your rounds. So silver, cold iron and more would probably go down very well indeed, and a number of different herbs, and we are going to get into more on the herbs in future. Now, jumping to ghosts and spirits, iron again, in a horseshoe is said to be a good choice, though I suspect horseshoes are specifically because they are the most commonly available form of cold iron from the times that we are drawing this folkloric version of stuff. So there's that. Salt, again. Rowan and ash wood. Now, the implications here is that what you really want to do is have your stakes which obviously you will have on hand for your vampires, made out of rowan and ash, and therefore you have backup. That would be a definite good choice. And in fact, Mickey, seeing as we're talking about staffs and what have you, I reckon an ash or rowan staff might go down very well. I like the idea of that. I was thinking actually you could make your sword that much better if you had the sheath made from rowan or ash and then silvered the blade on the inside. I mean, then you've got yourself covered for quite a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And you see, we can get clever with this. Again, against ghosts and spirits is St. John's wort, which adds to that side of things. Bells. Bells are good against spirits and ghosts. So definitely that. Rattles as well from certain cultures, especially ones that don't go with bells. I believe the traditional American Indians don't use bells at all, but rattles they do instead. So it's the sharp noise, I believe, that they don't like. Good to know. Incense, of course, of varying varieties. So you do get blessed incense in very different religions and cultures. So one to keep in mind for adding later. And then the famous evil eye charm that you get. It's Dragon Ball. It's hey. Pleasure. Glad you have joined us. So absolutely, we've got a varied number of things there. The evil eye charm, it's the Greek one. It's blue with the, that one. The Hamsa hand, which is a specific holy symbol, is also said to be very effective. Against sea spirits, weirdly enough, rice balls or onigiri and a ladle with a hole in the bottom. Interesting. That might require further examination. Not too sure about that one. Against jinn. Oh, the other thing against sea spirits, by the way, you need a certain amount of wax or earplugs. Because obviously some of them can charm you. So earplugs are good to have on hand, and wax can be used, and wax can be proper beeswax, so it can be used for other things as well. Against jinn, holy recitation, particularly from the Quran, though I suppose if you're from a different religion, any holy verses will do. So we live in hope. So they say that any kind of spirit in general, you want cold iron, which makes a lot of sense. I will definitely go with that. So ghosts, spirits and all of that, cold iron is the way forward. Any kind of moon creature. Now we know that the moon affects a number. Werewolves, vampires, and certain other spirits as well are moon creatures, and all of them are affected by spirit. So along with your silvered walking stick sword, you want some kind of cold iron as well. Garlic, rowan, which is mountain ash, oak, St. John's wort, thorn and birch. Those seem to be the ones that are common to affect a huge number of different things. So definitely woods to consider. Here's an interesting thing. Obviously the cross, the crucifix. You know the difference between a cross and a crucifix?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, a crucifix is the one with the little figurine on. The cross doesn't necessarily have it. and it's religion dependent. Your Hamsa hand, yes. Your evil eye, yes. But gargoyles, it seems going into things, gargoyles are protectors and are good. So where you get gargoyles, that's the good place to be, from what I understand. So good, good, good. Definitely holy water, blessings and incantations, holy incense, and again, lots and lots and lots of salt. You need your salt. Right there is, you need it by the sackload against these kind of things. So
I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter what salt you use. I think it's just salt in general.
well, I was wondering if maybe, because like if you get natural salt, there's a lot of other things in it as well, which might be an advantage. The other thing as well is if they say if you mix the salt to make what, well, in Wicca, if you use black salt, which is mixed salt, absolutely, you definitely want that. It's an upgraded salt. Hi there, Jacobs. Jakobus, yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm wondering if you say ground up ash wood into fine powder, ground up a bit of St. John's wort into powder and mixed it in with your salt, would you get like amped up salt?
Maybe, eh? I'm just thinking about what's supernatural. You know,
Right.
Natural.
I mean, basic salt, good. Powered up salt, better.
Probably the best, though. I
Now,
think you can go.
regionally, they, like in Mesopotamia, you have incantation bowls, which is basically a bowl with verses of religious origin written in a spiral round and round and round and round and round inside of it. So a holy item. And then what they call Pazuzu statuettes, which are little demonic statuettes that are supposed to protect you from the demons. But again, a religious item. In South America, this is an interesting one, aloe vera, which apparently is particularly good against vampires as well. So something to add to your garlic and what have you. So absolutely that, which sounds good to me. We're definitely going in, though one comment that was put up, which I'm going to back somewhat, is a semi-automatic railgun for the cultists. Fair point there. But we're getting into that because we did say that you have to have your physical protection, and that would definitely fit into that. So I like the idea.
I
Yeah.
have an air rifle at home that my dad gifted me. It's one of those Russian-built air rifles. Anyway, and I was thinking it would be so cool to get like silver bullets for it because I've got lead. I've got the lead bullets for it, but like, just think about it. If you got some silver.
Well, I'm thinking you're right, and I'm thinking not just silver, cold iron tipped as well.
Yeah, because the bullets I do have for it are spiky tips, so it does a lot of damage if it does shoot you. Then I
Well,
was thinking,
as long as it is made of something that will damage the particular thing you are hunting. But yes, we do need to speak in terms of that as well. However, that said, we need to talk about a more modern version. So practical. So on the physical side, you've got to have certain weaponry. Absolutely. As they pointed out, generally your monsters come up with backup. So you've got varying crazed cultists and all the rest of it that would absolutely matter. You've got to protect yourself against that. So, decent leather armor right off bat, a good set of gloves, because you're probably going to be dealing with slightly icky things. As you can see in the background behind me, that giant chopper is because many of the creatures in question, once you have eliminated or put them down, you have to either dismember or decapitate in order to ensure they stay dead. So you've got to have a means to manage that as well.
Get rid of that.
As well as your stakes for nailing them into the grave. So you need 5 or 6 good stakes made from decent wood. So let's start up with a modern version, okay? Interesting facts, okay? Protective amulets are important, and anti-venom. Many of these things are poisonous. Think about that.
Yeah.
You're also going to need to be able to find the damned things. So tracking and investigation gear, cameras, EMF meters, maps, first aid, survival essentials, fire, light, navigation, ropes and ways to climb in and out of things. So that's important. Your silver-coated blades and bullets, wooden stakes, heavy hammer. Many of the kits that I've seen are clearly modern versions because their mallet is not going to cut it. You've got to have something you can swing a bit. A specialized crossbow. And here's another thought. Could you possibly hollow out the tip of your bullets, put in a drop or two of holy water and seal it over?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking this would be a good backup.
I must tell you something that
Yes.
we had in our house growing up. I don't know where my dad got it from, but he mounted it on the wall. It was actually one of those Spanish swords, like, you know, that very fine tip.
Oh, okay, like a proper rapier.
It was so cool. I don't know what. I think my sister got it eventually. But yeah, it was such a cool sword. It always sat there mounted on the wall.
Well,
No, where my dad got it. But he also had one of those short spears, you know, the Zulus use.
yes,
Shaka Zulu. One of those short spears. He also had one of those mounted on there.
I love those
was
things.
really-
Very, very
It is really
effective.
Yeah, I think my sister and brother eventually got it. But yeah, it was really cool.
That is awesome. Well, I can tell you my father was a champion fencer in college.
Cool.
Yeah. And now the blunt ones that they use is called an EP. But
Oh, okay.
the proper ones that were used for actual fighting is a rapier. And he had a couple that he got when he went to Toledo in Spain, where they made the best in the world. And I don't know what happened to them. He had them mounted as well way back when. And they had these beautiful gold chased guards and the whole, you know. They
Yeah, I'll have to
really
ask-
look good. Ask
Actually, I
your
have to ask
sister.
my mom. Yeah, because my mom will know what she did with it. Because
That
when
is
they
cool.
moved out of my house,
That is really, really cool. And of course would fit very nicely inside a walking stick.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
No, I'll fix mine. Now I thought about it.
Hey Ma, I need to know for reasons of hunting werewolves.
Where's the sword? What happened? I want it.
Well, the next thing you're going to need, by the way, especially for werewolves, having mentioned them, and for things like chupacabra and Bigfoot and the like, are traps, because you have to capture and immobilize them. Nets, tripwires, heavy chains, and manacles for once you've finally got them so they can't run away, or worse, get loose and get at you. you definitely need a fair amount of both light and burning things. Certain of the creatures are very fire sensitive, so flammable oils and a means to light it, and of course they tend to live in the dark, so decent lighting. An interesting point was made during the research that having a good electric torch is all very well, but certain creatures can affect electricity. So having a backup of the old style burning torch might be a good idea just in case. You don't want to be in the bottom of some crypt somewhere and all of a sudden it's pitch black and you can't see anything. Not when there's a monster bouncing around you. Just throwing it out there.
Well, even a packet of sparklers, I would say.
Yeah, that would be a good start actually. And it might be,
What?
well, upgrade your idea there, a road flare.
Yeah, I saw Checkers 6060 was advertising sparklers and glow sticks today. So.
Well, glow sticks are a good point because they don't run off any kind of power, so they can't be affected by the spirit. Glow sticks, nice one. Mickey, you got a point.
And they'll last a while.
Well, you get the proper ones, they last up to 12 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. Then defensive and protective items, including holy water, crucifixes, rosaries is popular. Partly, I think, because you can wear them, and so you don't drop them.
Yeah.
Hands-free. Blessed salt. So blessed is better than plain. Mirrors. Steel mirrors to reflect petrifying gazes or checking corners, and silver-backed for seeing the true form of vampires and spooks. So you've got that. Powdered garlic. What happens if I, again, hollowed out the tip of a bullet, filled it with powdered garlic and sealed it up? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking here.
Definitely be more effective.
Brimstone, which by the way is sulfur, and you can fairly easily get powdered sulfur, flowers of sulfur at the chemist. It's very good actually, funny enough, in medicine. It's very useful in medicine. So multiple uses, good against bad things, good against for your medical kit. Powdered sulfur. Antivenoms, healing potions, and resistances of varying variety. Thick gloves, reinforced boots, very important. You want to avoid any traps that might be left by random cultists and what have you. So definitely that kind of thing. Documentation, proof that yes, it was a vampire. So cameras, thermal and night vision, audio recorders, EVPs, notebooks, maps, EMF meters for detection, thermal sensors, scent lures, interesting thought, compass, GPS, so on and so forth, first aid, survival kit, anti-venoms, a crowbar for getting into that crypt, and possibly a spade for digging up that grave. Decent field knife for a lot of different things. Rope, grappling hook. You may have to climb in or out. Decent supplies of food, hand warmers, and weather-appropriate gear and water. Brandy for the cold and for medical use. Decent case or backpack to carry everything. Make sure it's got to be accessible but well carried. And then the additional things for specific targets. So if you're going after a swamp beast, you take different things to if you're going after a vampire. So at home, a lot of gear, and then you go with what counts. So absolutely all of that. Your key herbs, here we go. This is a bit that I was quite interested in. And either these are carried on your person or hung in doorways to keep the area where you are safe, or burnt as incense. So 3 methods of use here. Garlic, absolutely. And they say that not only must you have it around, but you should eat it so that your blood becomes poisonous to the vampire. Yes, it does sound a little off-putting for some, but nevertheless. Rue. Rue is known as the herb of grace, carried in sachets, grown by doors, and often include in witch bottles, which will deter evil magic users and the evil eye. So a good choice there. Rosemary keeps out evil spirits and protects you, so used as an oil to anoint yourself and hung in doors and windows to keep bad spirits out. Good choice, good choice. St. John's wort repels demons and evil spirits, both hung in windows and doors or worn for protection. You're going to have a very, very, very interesting aroma around you if you add all of these, but better to have them than not. Vervain, definitely good against both evil witchcraft and evil influences. One I didn't know, dill, often hung above doorways to ward off evil spirits, but also invites prosperity. I like prosperity. So dill is a good one. Yep. Hyssop. Now hyssop is a Middle Eastern herb, strong associations with purity, and definitely wards off both evil and spirits. So definitely a good one. In the Mediterranean, so the Greeks and all of those guys used mullein, which protects against evil magic. And Odysseus used a stalk of mullein, which was given to him by the gods to protect himself from the temptress Circe. So there you go. Mullein is a good one. Varying potions of practical use. So holy water, which they've written in most of my research as ordinary water that has been blessed by a cleric or holy person. It's not actually true. It's not pure water. As you know, I was in the church, and you add salt to holy water as well. You might not realize that. Yeah, you do. So yeah, it's not pure water, just in case you didn't know. But is considered lethal for varying entities, including vampires, demons. It's used in exorcisms, absolutely, and more. Ghosts, spirits, against jinn and other things. So you definitely want your holy water. Salt, again, lines of salt over windows and doors or in a circle to prevent evil spirits from getting at you. Interesting one, vinegar. It disrupts magic and keeps ghosts and spirits from manifesting. So if you are ever worried that one is going to come, you put a little vinegar in a dish and leave it in the room you are in, and ghosts can't manifest, and magic gets disrupted.
Oh, that's interesting.
Good one to know. Holy oil, same as holy water really, but oil. Also very useful and is used for anointing and all the rest of it, so you can use it on your person or like holy water. So absolutely a good thing. And somebody pointed out to me, you can put it into a small oil lamp giving you
Oh
what is
yeah.
essentially holy light.
Yeah, very pretty.
Yes. So multiple ways to use, it seems. Your silver, of course, usually put onto the weapons because of its use in that regard. And cold wrought or unworked iron is powerful repellent against spirits, ghosts, and the fairy folk. So absolutely. Something we got quite a lot of from the American Indians, but also from a lot of other places as well, is the use of your smudge bundles. Now, interestingly enough, everyone associates smudge bundles and smudging with the American Indians. But traditionally, actually, they were used by a lot of different cultures world over, though with different herbs in each. And they cleanse against spirits, negative energies, evil energies, magic, and all the rest of it. And what goes in will depend. Sage is very popular in many cultures, different kinds of sage, so that you know. You get different varieties of sage. You also get TikTok being annoying. Yay, it knows we're alive. Hey, Spooky's joined us. Hello, Spooky. We'll give you a ad. And then we're just going to comment very quickly in the comments because nobody else has much. No, they have a lot. Jacobus did.
Evening.
Good evening.
How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. We realized we had a severe lack in our channel. Insofar that we've...
What do you mean?
Well, we've talked a lot about the monsters, but we haven't talked about the monster hunters. So now we're at Pink Pony. So now we are talking about monster hunters and what you need to be a successful one. So yeah, there's been a whole ton of stuff on the internet about cultural appropriation and why you should never touch sage. But I put it to you that sage grows in different forms on a great many continents, and it's been used regardless by a lot of different peoples for much the same thing. So perhaps the American white sage is something that belongs just to them, but sage is sage is sage is sage. You get lots of it in different places. I'm just saying. So there. Cedar, rosemary. Oh, and by the way, in case anybody wonders, rosemary grows wild along the coasts of South Africa and has been used in traditional impepo to drive off evil spirits and things for centuries. So yeah, so you can freely use rosemary for one. Then your amulets and charms, dependent on religion, of course. You get your little Christian holy symbols, pictures of the saints, rosaries and such. You get witch bottles. In your pagan religions, you've got varying symbols and charms you can carry, dependent on your particular religion, and then mixes of varying herbs that go into bottles you can wear in lockets around your neck. So we've got that going. So yeah, there's a whole collection. Now, the core ones, as we've said, garlic, Allium sativum, as they like to call it, works against a lot of things. If you don't have garlic, you're pretty much stuffed. So there you go, you need that. Wolfsbane, aconitum, or aconite. Do be careful though. While it is incredibly effective against all shapeshifters, it is highly toxic and you've got to handle with care. It's poisonous. So definitely be careful of wolfbane. Rowan or mountain ash, which we get from Celtic lore. The wood and red berries are used to repel witchcraft, fairies, and all sorts of supernatural creatures. And I would add to that hawthorn, which happily grows around me everywhere. So you absolutely want your hawthorn and your rowan. St. John's wort, which is said to absorb sunlight and ward off any spirits that fear light. Now, an interesting point, in many of the pagan religions, they say that if you get your crystals, you must charge them either in the sun or moon. So you do need to be able to charge up your stuff, just as you need to load your pew-pews and what have you, for them to be effective. So make sure if you've got any holy items or you want your sword to be particularly effective, you charge it up in either sunlight or moonlight to make sure it's fully ready against the dark. Mugwort and wormwood banishes evil spirits, protects against nightmares, and repels water spirits, particularly the Rusalki. Remember when we did some of the Slavic countries, we came across the Rusalk.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want that. Rue, as we've said. Now, witch bottles, protective herbs, salt, sharp objects like nails or pins and more, which go into the witch bottle, then can both protect you and trap malevolent spirits and cause them to be unable to hurt you, which is a good start. Remember, witch bottles were not made by witches. They were made by people to use against witches. Witches had other versions, yes. Your holy water and holy oil, standard in a great many cultures. The Jews use it, the Christians use it. I do believe many of the Muslims use it as well. Protective boundary powder. Now, this is an interesting one because you come across a number of these things in voodoo and hoodoo as well.
Be right back.
Cool. Boundary powder is a mixture of ground red pepper, black salt, rosemary, and so on, and often red brick dust, which protects against intrusions by evil. So, boundary powder. So you may have to do a bit of alchemy to prepare yourself. And then everything, you want to be able to bath yourself. So you mix up hyssop, angelica root, and certain other herbs and infuse them into your bath water, which you wash with before going out. See, it's kind of like spiritual armor. So absolutely before and after. So having come back, having faced whatever it was you faced, you have to cleanse off. So you need that. Then field medicine and utility. Everybody knows that yarrow is one of the top herbs for staunching bleeding and fighting infection. So you would need that in your kit for your own medical safety. Buku, believe it or not, native to South Africa, which again is internal and external for wound care and for spiritual protection. So definitely. Your sage for purification of spaces and what have you. Fennel and mint ward off wandering ghosts and maintain good personal energy. So absolutely. And apparently iron works against jinn as well. Now, if you are not Christian, you will have your witch's circle, which can ward off against spiritual things, and cleansing spaces with herbs like sage, rosemary, lavender. Lavender is a good choice as well. Cedar is very popular, creating a protective barrier. Physical boundaries include salt, mugwort, basil. Apparently that makes a shield of safety against evil. Yarrow creates a living fence to keep death at bay. Cinquefoil. I've never actually seen cinquefoil. It's basically five-finger grass, but it's powerful for warding, I'm told. I've never seen it and I don't know what it is. You've got your hyssop infusion, which is very popular. 2 teaspoons of driest hyssop in water and sprinkle it around your perimeter, especially around where you're sleeping. Solomon seal tea, used for a forceful exorcism of a space before a casting. So good one to know, Solomon seal tea. Florida water, we know that from our voodoo and hoodoo. Alcohol-based herbal cologne, often used as a quick cleansing spray as well. So in the modern day, a little spray bottle, a couple of those will go down well. It's kind of like pepper spray against vampires. Take that, garlic water. Salt water. Sea salt water is probably a good one. There you go. Partly because it brings the elements of the real world against whatever it is. Palo Santo, again, that's one that it seems if you're not a fully full-blooded Native American, if you use it, it's cultural appropriation. I keep wanting to say, can we have our brick houses and cars back, and hospitals, and. That's cultural appropriation. But I'm just being mean, aren't I?
Not really.
I mean, fair is fair. And according to science, all of us came out of Africa, which means I'm not a colonist. I just came home.
Exactly.
Throwing it out
There's
there.
nothing
And besides, I was born in this country. So,
new.
Yabu
So,
sucks. Certain basic tools. You need a pestle and mortar for mixing up your stuff. A couple of metal bowls so that you can either mix or cook up your stuff as may be required. A small choppy type knife for chopping up your herbs and things if you're using fresh at the time. Mirrors, certainly. A large hunting type knife to protect yourself and do all the tasks while you are out there. A decent ranged weapon, absolutely. Preferably with the right kind of tip. So a cold iron spear or sword. Yes.
That's what they.
Can you throw a wooden stake?
Well, here's my question, okay? Even if I tipped the arrow or spear with metal, it is necessarily still a wooden shaft, right? So if I stick it in deep enough, does it count as a stake? Because I say it should. If it's made of the right wood. So rowan or ash are the top ones for this. Okay. Shot
Or a
from...
wooden stake?
Yeah.
That kills vampires.
Right. And I put it to you that whether or not there is a metal tip on it, if you get a wooden stake through you, it's certainly going to work like a crossbow regardless against anything. So basically get yourself a crossbow and a whole bunch of rowan wood bolts, and just
What was it,
sharpen the
that
tip.
movie? That movie from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes,
They did that.
exactly
He
there.
used to-
I
he
reckon it
had a
counts.
copper,
I
and he used
Yes, I'm going with that. Spooky, you're dead right. I'm going with that as being a legit way, and furthermore, a decent pointy stick like a staff that will work as a giant
yeah,
stake.
makes sense.
I think so. Now, interesting point though, iron and copper filings, okay, work against a lot of different things. So fine filings that you can lay out for warding in a circle or whatever, absolutely. Repels ghosts, spirits, fairies, all sorts of things, jinn and more. So definitely, and if you mix the iron and copper filings with salt and a few other herbs, you'd have a really serious barrier. So absolutely. Now, Spooky, you missed out. We were also saying, because Mickey's got herself an air pew-pew. My point is, if you got a whole ton, like a full box of lead tips, right, and you carefully drilled them out and then filled the hole with a bit of iron, a bit of garlic, a bit of holy water,
Yeah.
and then topped it with wax. Now I've got a way of at a distance, right?
Yeah.
Surely that counts. And nobody said how big it had to be. So if you put in a little nodule of rowan wood, does that counter a high-powered stake? Nobody said how big the stake has to be.
Exactly. Makes sense.
I mean,
Or how big the monster is that you're shooting at.
fair point. But if I can let rip with 50 rounds in a semi-auto, I reckon against a vampire, it's got to have effect. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, right there. And I mean, you could carry a good 200 rounds quite easily. So you could have, say, 50 for vampires, 50 with silver in for werewolves and things, 50 with iron in, 50 with holy water. I mean, you could cover the whole
The
lot.
only thing you got, the only thing you,
Don't forget the
like,
garlic.
the only thing you gotta think about, is like how much of the actual magical essence of the weapon is like. How do I
Well,
explain this?
Many of the versions I've seen, A, have been blessed, and B, have holy symbols marked on them.
Yeah.
So that might be another thing. We're going to get to that, though, in terms of personal protection.
No.
Okay.
No, we're thinking, if you got a like a small
So I
child.
want to ask some questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can I ask away?
Yeah, ask. We're
Yeah, you
waiting.
can ask. Sorry, Will.
Are aliens monsters?
Good question. I don't know. That's a fair point. And would we need something special against them? I suppose it would depend on what kind of alien.
A lot of people say they're demons. So I don't
Well,
know
if they're
about-
demons, we're fine
And
because we got
the way
that
you
covered.
fight your
Yeah.
the way you fight your monsters, are you trying to kill them or
Well, I would
chase them
assume.
away?
I would assume to take them out because let's face it, do you want a vampire living near you? Snacking on the family.
So if you're gonna harm them, they're gonna come back for revenge. So you probably.
Yes, I'm reasonably sure that this is going to be a terminal hunt. Just throwing it out there as a
So
possibility.
tinfoil hat is not going to be.
Well, I don't know.
Help you.
That's something which I've often wondered about. Why tinfoil hats? What are they supposed to actually protect you from? And you know how you can now get those fancy Mylar bags that are basically a Faraday cage? What if you lined your beanie with that stuff? Would that work better than a tinfoil hat? Because it's more flexible.
As long as it reflects whatever. I mean, I don't.
I mean, I'm just
Maybe
thinking.
you'll receive no signal.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point of a Faraday cage is that it stops all signals.
Yeah, so probably.
So those little bags that you can put your electronics in to cut off all signals and protect them from an EMP, if you had the same lining inside your beanie, that should work, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it probably works the same then.
I'm just thinking in terms of that.
Yeah, no, it will probably work the same.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole idea of the freaking tinfoil stuff.
Exactly, exactly. I did, by the way, see the most awesome cowboy hat, which apparently was used by somebody who was a monster hunter. And on the inside, they had an iron insert under the crown.
Oh.
So it was actually an armored helmet, but looked like an ordinary cowboy hat.
Yeah. But you can even line your hoodie with that up and like with that.
You could. But I like the idea of having extra armor.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I do know from my research into medieval combat and what have you that by and large, body armor was not a thing. It was for the
Yeah.
knights, but remember the knights are on horseback, they're not
Yeah.
running around.
Yeah, it's too heavy.
Yes. So for ordinary people, you would have leather or ringed brigantine. Ringed brigantine was very, very popular because very light. The leather was protective against a slash, and the rings against thrusts and slashes. And then you would only actually have any kind of metal on your braces on the forearm or your greaves on your shins, and then
Yeah.
a helmet.
Yeah, for sure.
So a helmet is very, very, very important. And in fact, they proved in World War I, helmets were never issued initially. And they saved up to 75% more lives when they instituted the use of helmets. And that's why... Yeah.
My sister and my brother-in-law, they actually went for lessons for actual medieval sword fighting.
That's
Pretty
cool.
Yeah, and they were talking. They were taught about different types, armor and everything.
Yeah.
Because they're both really into that type of thing. I mean, he loves hunting, and she does. They both do archery.
Ah, you see. Well, I'm guilty as well, so right there.
Yeah. And my sister and my dad used to go to the gun range to do shooting with revolvers, So that's cool.
When it comes to guns, I have to admit, my favorite was actually what they call a Lady Beretta. It was a very small, lightweight, almost zero kick handgun, which was still 9mm. And then
I shot with my dad's revolver, and then also the .22 was much nicer. It was
Yeah.
not so aggressive.
I'm not a medium type person in any of my gear. It's either small and concealable or I go the whole hog. So like when I was in the military, I used a 12-7 Browning.
Yeah.
Which,
it was good times. I really enjoyed that. It was fun.
Absolutely. If you ever shoot anything, trust me, a 12-7 Browning is the best thing you will ever experience.
Oh, really?
It's about 12 centimeters to 15 centimeters long, each round. The gun goes through 850 rounds a minute, and you can get them in high explosive.
Well, I hope I get the opportunity one day.
I can shoot you
What do
behind
you
three.
need that for?
Well, it was mounted on a vehicle when I was on the border. It is for getting through tanks and things.
Oh, I see.
It's not
I
like
must show you.
carry around.
Shoot through walls
I'll
and
take
stuff.
Yes.
I'll take a picture for you one day. I know it's so illegal to have, but my dad's got this. It's like a casing from a missile,
Oh, wow.
like some sort of.
I know
Anyway,
a few people.
and my mom keeps
How
it a
far do they
door.
shoot?
She keeps it as a doorstop here by the
Oh,
front
no,
door.
absolutely. I know
I'll take
plenty of people who've got those. They
take a
come from
photo
World
for you.
War II, and they look literally like an ordinary rifle round.
But they're just massive.
Yes,
Just really massive.
absolutely.
And
No,
it's
those
so
things are
heavy.
cool. Yeah, but it's solid brass.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'll take a picture for you and send it sitting there by
Do
the front
that.
door.
I
You
like
see.
that. I like that. Well, it says metal filings, absolutely important. Copper and brass and iron. So, fortress circles and all, very, very, very important. So you've definitely got to go with all of that. Now, in terms of your religion, that's going to affect which is your choice of holy symbol. So, but the one behind me is very obviously a Catholic version, simply because you can see those are crucifixes. Your holy symbols, which on the one side there you've got an icon, very popular in Eastern Orthodoxy. You've got to have your book of prayers. I actually have got, now I don't know where it is, I've got a couple of original 100-year-old Breviarium Romanis, and they're really nice, leather bound, so that would work perfectly. If you don't know what a Breviarium Romanis is, it's the original prayer book that was used in the Catholic monasteries, and both of mine are about 100 years old.
Oh, sure. That's
So
awesome.
they are very, very nice. I've got a modern one as well, which is not as cool.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
So in terms of, and dependent on how mobile you want to be, either you're going to need a big cleaver like the one behind me there, for the dismemberment of the varied monsters, or a decent axe. I would go with an axe because it strikes me that if you had a good heavy axe, the back of it will work just perfectly as a mallet. And you do need to have a good heavy swing to get that stake in, because I'm pretty certain that vampires are not going to lie there quietly.
Oh, yeah, you have to have it.
Okay, your stakes have to be made from the correct wood, so rowan or ash. I believe you can get away with elm and oak, but rowan or ash for preference. Okay, so right off. Now you can see there, the rifle behind me has got a scope on, so it's clearly better to take things out from a distance.
Yeah, my dad's air rifle he gave me for my birthday has a scope and everything. It's
There we go. So you're covered for that. You better get your rounds doctored up. Silver, iron.
We did so much target shooting in our backyard. It was so illegal, but we did it.
Do it anyway. Okay. A good pair of binoculars so you can scope out where you're going. Entries and exits and what have you, definitely necessary. I will say that almost every version of this, now at the bottom there of the case, you can see their little bottles. That is no way near enough. You need quite a lot more of the herbs and salt by the sackload. Don't stuff around. You need enough to make it worthwhile. Okay, so bigger bottles in that regard. A decent knife, absolutely. Size of holy item, not so important, but one with a decent grip. And I think this is where rosaries became so valuable, because you can wrap them around your wrist and then have them on hand while holding varying other things, and you won't drop them.
Yeah.
Your silvered mirror, absolutely, definitely a necessity. And varied forms of different elixirs. Now, as we've seen around the world, different forms of herbs have effect. But a number of herbs seem to grow all over the world. And what's really, really interesting is they're all used for much the same things, warding off spirits. So garlic grows all over the world. And all over the world. Yeah.
How do you make a proton pack?
A proton pack? That's a good question. Proton pack as in allowing you to use it like a jet pack, or is it as in a kind of... Oh, you mean like in Ghostbusters?
In Ghostbusters, yeah.
You know, I often wondered about that, because from everything we've seen thus far, simple electricity is something that the ghosts can manipulate. So obviously whatever is in both the ray things they shoot and in the trap things they use has to be very, very specific. Now, a number of things that have come up includes the fact that apparently at least ghosts and spirits can't go through glass for some reason. Okay. So it seems that you might be able to make some kind of a trap using glass. And we did see that in 13 Ghosts, if you recall. So there is an absolute possibility that, yes, some kind of a trap might be makeable with glass, possibly, interestingly enough, in a pyramid shape. The other thing which apparently works very well are dream catchers. Dream catchers are designed for catching ghosts and spirits. So you want to add a couple of dream catchers to your kit. But yeah, a glass pyramid might work as well. Now, in terms of that proton pack that shoots the beam out, that I don't know. That's I've never found anything even equivalent or anything like that. So how that would work is beyond me. I did try and find out, but nothing there. But in terms of actual traps, yes. Glass pyramid and dream catchers, absolutely. Certain crystals apparently can be used to make a trap. And then you basically take it home and bury it in salt, and it kills off whatever's inside, along with blessings and exorcisms and. So there are options dependent on your religion. The exact process...
Is it chants that you could use?
Oh, absolutely. Chants are very popular. Prayers, of course. The original exorcism prayers for the Catholics, obviously. There are certain verses specific in the Quran, if you're Muslim, that are for exactly this. And you recite, I think it's Surah 72. I could be wrong. If anyone's Muslim, correct me there. But there's a specific surah for this that absolutely is designed to take out evil things. Um, among the Wiccan communities and the varying pagan groups, you've got specific ones dependent on the religion in question. Obviously, different for different beliefs and different gods and goddesses and what have
So, are
you.
you gonna become a Muslim
Me, no.
or die?
I am anti-religion, so very, very small chance I will ever become anything
During the
specific.
weekend, I saw a couple of videos. So, this last year that has just happened, 2025,
Yes.
we've imported 100,000 Muslims into our
Yes.
country.
Yes, we have. And they are petitioning for
And
Sharia law in South Africa as being the main law.
yes, and they said they're going to turn the entire country into a Muslim country.
Yes.
And some of the people, they say some weird, disgusting things, like saying that if you don't become a Muslim, then you should die.
Yes, that's common. It's happening world over. What did I tell you? The Cold War never ended. It simply expanded. And it's been going on ever since. And nobody seems to recognize that fact.
Okay. So our government has imported over 100,000 people that wants to kill us
Yes.
if we don't become Muslims.
Yes. And will absolutely do the same to all of the locals. We are already engaged in a serious conflict worldwide as a result of all of this. And what's really, really interesting, because it isn't everybody, as we know, we have quite a few countries that are very Muslim that are quite happy just to do their thing and carry on. And we like them very much. And none of those
But
Muslims...
they're also anti-radical.
Yes.
They're against the Brotherhood and ISIS.
None of those Muslim countries will allow refugees to enter, which tells you a great deal, doesn't it? It's, yeah. The problem is the radicals. Any radicals are a problem. And we are basically in a war against radicalism. Remember what we said?
Did you hear what Trump did on Christmas?
No?
He attacked a bunch of ISIS terrorists in Nigeria.
Oh,
He
wow.
bombed the shit out of them.
Okay.
Yeah, because they killed about 6,000 Christians in Nigeria
Which goes on.
this year.
Yes, absolutely. It's happening all over Africa. You know about the war that's currently going on in Ethiopia and Mozambique? No, of course you don't. Nobody does. Nobody talks about it because nobody wants anything from those countries, and so they don't care. There's no oil, there's no particular value to the outside world, so we don't give a shit. They must just do
Probably
this.
because money don't go to fund their war like it goes
Correct.
to Israel or
Correct.
Ukraine.
But, I mean, should we not be concerned just as much for the innocents? It's a fair question, is it not? The world is manipulated by politics, not by truth, or by value for human life. And I mean, we see that, and I'll tell you, I realized the other day what the real problem is, okay? Our problem is that we follow personalities instead of following values. So everybody is concerned about Trump, either for or against, and whether or not he is the orange man. Who cares what he looks like? Is he
Yeah.
doing the right thing? We follow people because that's our badge, not because they're right. We've lost the plot as a people. Now it's, oh, we have to believe this great movie star when he talks about something he is hopelessly underqualified to speak on because he's a movie star. What? Sorry, if you know, I love certain movie stars. They're brilliant. They're fantastic. I really appreciate their work. But if they try and tell me how to fix a car, I'm going to be like, you're not a mechanic.
Exactly.
You
it's a
talk
actor.
shite. I will ask a mechanic to fix my car, not you. I like you as a movie actor. Go and act.
But what if they're very good at acting and you think they can fix your car?
Well, that's the problem. People look at them and go, oh, but you're so wonderful and special and important.
You seem like you know a lot, but you're just
no,
an actor.
you know, I think George,
They're actor.
yeah, George Clooney is a great guy, wonderful fellow. I appreciate. I think he's a fantastic fellow, and I am all for him. But at the same time, if he tried to tell me anything moral, I would tell him to shove off because he has no authority on
corrupt.
morality. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I don't like politicians. Politicians are all
No,
liars.
but that's exactly
Corrupt.
it.
They got the job because they're good at lying.
But that's exactly it. And every time you find somebody that is actually a strong leader, we all fall apart because we can't handle somebody actually doing their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, Trump is not a politician.
No, he isn't.
And-
That's the best thing about him.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom
So all the
line,
promises he made,
he's
keeping with
done.
it. He's staying with it. Yeah.
I mean, what scares me the
And
most...
he doesn't lie like the other politicians do.
Well, I was thinking the other day, you know you're in a serious, worrying position when the most honest politician around is someone like Kim Jong-un. He's honest.
Yeah.
I didn't say he was nice or that
He
his
is
policies
honest,
were
yeah,
good. He's
I'm
honest.
guessing he's honest, but the stuff he probably says is you're not going to agree with what he's saying.
I didn't say
But
I
he's not
agreed
lying
with
to
him. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But at least he's the honest one.
Well, until he got power.
But no, he's still honest.
He gained power by lying, saying, I'll feed you. Give me all the power you can, and I'll feed you.
No, he got power because he was in charge of the army. So basically, he got power by saying, you'll give it to me or I'm going to jump up and down on your head, which he then proceeded to do until people said, all right, you can have power.
And they can't fight back. Or
Well,
the
no,
ordinary
'cause he's got the
citizens can't
power.
fight back.
Pretty much, no.
The thing of Donald Trump, he made what he believed quite, clear to people before.
Oh,
he
yes.
got elected.
He was very, very
But
honest.
So the thing is, when people voted for him, they knew what they were voting for. It wasn't a case of, oh shit, all of a sudden he's just this weird
Ah, but you
person.
see, in his case, the problem is those that didn't vote for him are very bent out of shape. And while they all say that they are, for example, very pro-life, they've got no problem with attacking and even offing people to prove that they're pro-life. Which to me is just, hold on, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we need a Monster Hunters kit that works against politicians too.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure what you would put in that.
yeah. There.
A definite
think-
difficulty.
We'll have to do some research.
Yeah. But yeah, if anybody knows
Very
what
sad stuff
it is, no,
in North Korea.
The current state of the world over is pretty sad.
Really bad.
It's gone south in ways that are just terrifying. There's
It's
nothing.
the end times. That's what my grandmother would say.
Yeah, everything's very bad.
In general terms, I don't know about that. But in terms of humanity, very possible.
But the thing is, I'll be grateful if it does just end. For real. I'm not being like that's really dark or whatever. But
Well, it's hard to argue with in
Well,
many.
I would like to see humanity strive.
what's that?
Say
What
that
did you
again.
say? Sorry.
I would like to see humanity strive, like
Well, I'd like
succeed,
sure.
colonize
Yeah.
the entire galaxy.
I'd like to see people wake up and stop being a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, don't listen to me. I'm just saying a negative. Full
Oh,
of negativities.
poor Mickey.
It's a bit hard.
We'll have to get you that sword cane so that you can cheer up.
Yeah, sure.
Spooky, Mickey wants a sword cane. A decent one with a
Yeah.
silvered blade made from
Because I
ash.
walk because I walk with a walking stick now, so I need.
Made from ash. I've got a cane here, a sword cane,
Oh,
somewhere,
you do?
with a dragon
There
handle,
we go.
dragon head
Cute.
handle.
You can gift it to me one day. Yeah, because I have to walk with
Yeah.
a walking stick now. I can't walk normally.
And you see, I
It's a
also
bit
often,
short.
I often use a walking stick as well. Well, Mickey's short. You're tall.
Let me see if I can find it. I should have it right.
Here we
Yeah.
go. There's hope.
Someone-
Mickey, you might get a...
Oh, that's cool.
Yay!
I'm using one of those the generic, you know.
I know, those things are so uncomfortable. I went and got myself one. Super comfortable. You can adjust the height, and it's got a ball top, which means it's really comfortable to hold on to, and a foam grip below the ball. So depending on how you're holding and walking with it, it's really, really comfortable. Get one of those. I got it actually
Yeah, I've
at
got
a discount.
Yeah, I've got everything now. I've got a walking stick, I've got crutches, I've got a walker, I've got a wheelchair even.
Oh, good Lord. I would do terrible things with a wheelchair. They would take it away from me.
I've been playing around with that wheelchair, don't worry.
There's a guy that used to live in Hillcrest who lived very... Well, he lived in Waterfall, I lived in Hillcrest, and he used to like going to the big shop that was there in Hillcrest when I lived there years ago. So he went and got himself an engine and put it into the back of his wheelchair.
Oh shit.
This thing could go at about 60 k's an hour. I mean, he souped it up, but good. He was a mechanic when he was young, and we often used to see him driving from Waterfall to Hillcrest to go to the shops, zooming up the road in this wheelchair. And yeah, it was probably illegal as hell, but I mean, what you going to do? It was 90s, just go ahead, jail me.
Yes, with me during the day, if I'm walking around the house, I use a like a walking stick. If I do go to the shop, depending on my pain level, I'll either go with crutches or a wheelchair. So it's usually a thing.
Wow.
But yeah, it would be nice to have a nice fancy
Yeah,
walking stick.
you deserve one.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to see if I can sort out and get myself a good metal staff
Yeah, for
with
sure.
suitable inserts to modify.
Why not? You know?
I reckon so. I like the idea.
You never know.
Yeah,
This world is full of weird things.
exactly. I like it.
I don't know. I told you the history of my mom's place here where I stay.
No.
The lady who was here, like only years after my parents had moved in here, my mom mentioned to me that the lady had thought she had committed suicide.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, there's some weird things that carry on here, like the movement in the flat. That's pretty creepy.
Well, I do know how to make a decent quality black salt if you're interested, which can ward off.
Yeah, it's nothing horribly scary. It's just my mom didn't notice it as much as my dad did. But yeah.
Well, bear in mind some
Sorry, I can't
people.
find it.
Oh, but
Oh
you've got. What are
shoot.
those? Are those Psy?
Oh
Nice. I
wow.
have a pair of those.
That's
I,
not
I
very cool.
I very much enjoy training with them.
I've got lots of swords.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
that looks like a. Is that a saber or is it a katana?
A saber. That's
Nice.
sure.
Well, that's what counts. I like it. I like it.
That's really cool.
This one has dragon tip,
That's cool.
dragon head.
That's like the Highlanders katana.
Oh, that's so nice. Wow.
That is so
I've got a
awesome.
whole bunch of them.
And then, of course, well, one day I must bring them out and show you. I've got my Kama, my Sai.
Yeah, you must show us. That'd be so
I've got a
cool.
few things.
Small one as well.
Oh
Wakizashi.
yeah.
I've got
That's
some
pretty
more.
cool.
Nice, very nice.
Now you know if the zombies rise, we're going to his place because he's well armed.
Yeah, we can do a whole show and tell between
Not
all
sure
three
what
of
to call
us,
this.
honestly.
Ah,
Oh yeah,
Ninjato. So the straight version of a katana, basically.
that's really cool.
That is very cool.
And then I've got this.
Good
Oh
chop
shit,
choppy.
that's amazing.
Yes, I've got one of those. I've got a cold steel tomahawk style,
Oh,
which is
lovely.
pretty cool. But it gets used for chopping up firewood for the fireplace.
Oh well, it works.
It works.
Exactly. Why not use it?
So yeah.
Okay, now.
So
Yes, that's fun.
Somewhere in the house.
it seems Spooky is 90% ready
He's well
for.
stocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's some sort of we need to go there and protect all of us. Because
I tell you what I did
Or
see the other day as well, which I thought was really cool, is somebody managed at a flea market to get a second-hand violin case. Okay, so just a case without the violin. And then
yeah.
he refitted the inside with a monster hunting kit. So you can just
Oh
carry the
wow.
violin case, and inside is all the gear
Yeah,
you
I
need.
nobody would suspect.
Right? So I really like the idea of that as well. You know,
Very cool.
a grab and go sort of setup. I was well impressed.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's really
no,
cool.
definitely. So I don't know. What do you think, Spooky? What would you rely on the most in terms of gear for monster hunting?
I've got a kitty.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well that's going to go down.
Well, what monster am I
Hold
gonna
on,
hunt?
hold on. Fair point, because if you remember in the original movie of Stephen King's It, they needed to take out It with a silver bullet, and they
Yeah, they
melted.
used the kitty.
Yeah, they
Isn't it?
melted down their mother's silver earrings into
Yeah,
a thing, and they used a kitty, and it worked.
exactly. So that's sometimes the most basic thing works best.
Right?
Yeah.
So
God, I
maybe there,
forgot
yeah,
about that. That's brilliant.
maybe there's a point here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay. So, uh, well, it's like anything, I suppose, because one of the problems I have with a bow, be it a longbow, a crossbow, whatever, is they're big and bulky. But these days, you can get a very high-powered catty that can be fitted for use with arrows, which
You see the
means,
problem.
which means,
Mostly, yeah.
before you say anything, if I can fit it for use with arrows, I could fit it for use with a stake and launch them.
Yeah, and a lot of these times, like for it, it was like very basic. They were rushed for time. They had to figure out a weapon
Right?
quickly to use.
So if
So,
you're
and
going in
sometimes you don't,
prepared,
yeah. Sometimes you don't have a whole box of weapons prepared. You gotta like,
but I mean, you could get a decent high-powered catty with the attachment for
yeah,
that
for
and load up your stakes, tip a couple with silver, couple with iron. I mean,
I
works
think my
for me.
brother-in-law has a caddy, a nice one. Like, the other one.
I reckon it would work. So in terms of modern, I see options here. At least on the physical side, I mean, a decent machete would be better than most things for general defense, close range. A ketty, good high-powered one with an attachment for being able to launch your stakes of varying variety. Doesn't have to be arrows. That would work very nicely. Couple of thin glass bottles with holy water and what have you in to throw. Holy hand grenade. Not just for Monty Python. I mean, right there, it's a Vorpal Bunny's demise. I reckon that would go down well. I see the use. And chem lights, because spirits can't interfere with the electricity. I mean, right away you're winning. And here's another thing, in terms of making like barriers and circles, what I would do is I would take chalk, wet it down until it's a paste, add things like the salt and the iron and copper filings and to it, and then re-harden it into a stick. Because now wherever I'm drawing, I'm laying down all those protective things as well. I mean, that would make a better
crucifix.
But this is it. I can easily draw both protective barriers and circles and holy symbols.
And symbols.
Yes. So you could upgrade your chalk into a suitable defense as well. I like this. I see options. So yeah, upgraded holy grenades.
Some glow in the dark with it, so it looks mystical.
Well, you can get that. I mean, absolutely. And the idea that certain things absorb sunlight if you put your holy oil into an oil lamp, you now have holy light. That will help drive things off and improve on not only your light situation, but your warding off of evil. I'm seeing options here for a seriously high-powered tactical monster kit that could well beat the original varieties. I like the thinking. Yeah. I think we could do this. Come on, guys, what other options have we got to upgrade? Now, in terms of armor, leather armor, you definitely do need decent gloves and braces, and you need to protect your shins and feet. Okay, you also need a high collar. to stop those vampires getting at the
Yeah.
neck, and wolves go for the throat, by the way, as do other shapeshifters. So you need a high
Probably
collared.
wearing a hoodie would be good.
Well,
Like some sort of armored hoodie.
either an armored hoodie, or a broad brimmed hat with a metal insert. And funnily enough, I have what they call a bump cap. It's an armored insert that goes inside a normal baseball cap that makes
What?
it a safety cap.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I used to use it because I didn't like wearing one of those stupid construction plastic helmets whenever I worked on a site in health and safety. So I had
I
a
see.
bump cap that went in my ball cap, and it's very
Oh, yeah,
comfortable.
for sure.
So,
Oh,
yeah, you can have that, and it does
yeah.
work.
Oh. No, you see the thing is if you're out in the forest, whatever, fighting whatever
Yeah,
monsters out there. If you have a hoodie on, like what you're wearing now, it's pretty much around your neck area, your
right.
face. So
So
if
if
you
you
line it,
with chainmail, silver chainmail,
if you're lining it, then you have some sort of tie in the front. Got a
yes.
good
I mean,
protect.
Well, you said fighting against monsters. What if you're fighting against a yeti or?
well, you see, you need to be adaptable to this because obviously with Yeti, they've got the big bite and they've got the claws. So it's kind of like a giant bear effect.
Yeah,
So
but
there, I probably would
With
say
a
you're
bear armor suit, one with spikes.
yeah, that was
possibly, but I'm far more approving of the idea of going with large bear traps and pit traps, and then from a distance finding the correct thing that will affect it, and then using it loaded in the ammo. So you don't want to get
Yeah.
too close to something that big. They definitely win on strength.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because apparently they range between 8 and 12 foot tall. I don't really want to go hand to hand with that if I
You're
can
gonna
avoid it.
include a nuke in your kit in case you have to fight against Godzilla.
Well, when you're going on that level, I think that's when you hand it over to, you know, the country's military and say, listen, this one's all for you.
What is that movie called? Oh, I don't remember. It was that movie they made those robots.
Transformers?
No. God. Oh, never mind. I can't think of it now. I'll let you know later. It was. Freak me. Why can't I remember?
I do know, talking about alien type things, apparently a number of them are very susceptible to loud noises, sharp noises. So again, you go back to your bells and things, which apparently they don't like.
I can't think of it. Shit.
Oh, like Venom.
Yes, similar idea.
Oh.
Robots,
Yeah,
robots. I'm trying to think what robot movies I've.
it wasn't. Yeah, the one I'm thinking of, it wasn't a robot movie. These guys, they fought these like alien creatures with these giant. Okay, yeah, they were robots.
I think that guy that plays.
Not War of the Worlds,
No.
because they're giant robot-y type things in that.
It's got a difficult name to remember. It's.
What the heck?
I think it's that actor of Mission Impossible plays in it.
Tom Cruise.
No, I don't think it was Tom Cruise.
Okay, he's got like a robotic armor suit to fight against aliens.
No, that was thing what Iron Man. No, not Deep Impact. What was that other thing? What? Why can't I remember? But then, anyway, he fought these aliens. It will come to me tomorrow. I will probably send a
1 o'clock in
like
the morning,
message.
you'll sit.
Human robots fighting against
Yes,
aliens.
No, what happened is, guys. What happened is these people they like military train, and they trained and they able to like move like these robots with their arms. You know, like with their arms and legs. They control the robots, but they have to use 2 people at a time because one
Sounds like
person they
Avatar.
no, yeah, it's something like very
In
similar.
Avatar, they had mech suits like that.
Yeah. But what happens is like one person can't control this robot thing. They have to have 2 people to sync together and like
Okay.
these aliens like they are aliens pretty much. But they come from the
Oh,
sea and yeah, they start
and the
devouring like
robots are these big Godzilla type robots.
I will remember it tomorrow. I will definitely remember it tomorrow.
The moment you do, write it down.
Yeah, because I know I can't because I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to say, I can just see like a month from now, Mickey picks up a piece of paper that just says robots, and she's like, "What the
I know
hell did
exactly
I
what I'm
write
talking
this
about.
for?"
But I'm not gonna lie to you. I have had a few drinks, so I'm like, this is like it's in my brain. I can't.
Ah, it's all
This
good. It
one's
will come when
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
yes, yes. Oh shit,
Yes.
for sure, Pacific Rim. That's
There
what I
you
was.
go. All
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
it was
Geez,
such a good movie. Oh,
it
I
was,
love
but
it.
I saw that so long ago.
I know, but watch it again and refresh
I'm thinking we must.
because it's so good. It really is so good.
So there you are. A decent
I think I've got
axe,
it.
a decent
Well done.
sword, a decent launching device, good, correct wooden stakes, which implies then if you had the right launchy device thingy, then you wouldn't need the mallet because you could launch your stakes just from Huachang. That sounds good. A suitable holy book so you don't forget the words. Don't get the words wrong. Holy
Yeah.
water, holy oil, lots of salt, a decent mirror, and quite a few alchemical ingredients in order to achieve all that is required. And now I'm rethinking, because if you look at the top there above the crucifixes, there's a pair of knuckle dusters. And I'm thinking if they were made out of cold iron and silver, you could give a few good whacks to both werewolves and to fairies and keep them at bay. I mean,
I actually inherited some knuckle dusters from my ex. Just go
there
on.
you go, there you go.
Like
Did you
really
use
good
them on
spiky
him?
rubber. No. When he moved out, I kind of found them in the back of the cupboard. I'm like, oh, this is sweet.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've got a
But they
whole
like
selection.
really, they like one of those, you know, like the super spiky ones, like
Oh yeah, no,
what's
no,
it
you
called?
gotta. I saw
From
some.
X-Men.
Yeah, I saw
You
some.
know, from X-Men.
Yeah, yeah.
dude?
But I saw
Yeah,
some
it's
the other
super
day
spiky.
that had a taser built into them. So as I
Yeah.
punch you, I tase you at the same time.
No, these ones are like claws. Like you can mount them. Like they're supposed to be mounted to the wall, kind of thing. But like X-Men.
Yeah, like Wolverine's claws. But why not both?
Yeah.
So while I'm stabbing you with my knuckle duster thingies,
Yeah.
I'm giving you 3,000 volts at the same time. So you really know I mean business.
Sure.
I mean, I like the
Yeah, no.
idea.
I saw them there. I'm like, hey, look at this.
There you go. We are more ready for the monsters than you thought. I like the idea. Now I'm going to have to dig out for tomorrow night, just so I can show you my my old books. I'll show you what the old Breviarium looks like. But they are pretty cool. I had them along with a Bible, which I no longer have, terribly sadly, which was about 180 years old, and it was written in Greek and Latin,
Oh wow.
which I used when I studied Greek because I needed a Greek
Yeah.
Bible. And that was really, really nice because it was genuine gold in the illuminations and
Yeah.
the whole lot. It was awesome, but I think somebody ran off with it, alas. Well, it's nearly 200 years. In fact, by now it would be 200 years old.
Oh, that's so sad.
And proper leather
Like, is
bound.
the alphabet type?
Well, it was written in the old. Well, it was printed, but obviously on an early printing machine. In the old, the Latin was in the, that very Germanic Gothic script. So all the Latin was in that, and then the Greek was in Koine. So the old
That's sad.
old Koine script.
Oh, you don't-
You know,
Was it easy to read?
which bit? It was Greek and Latin. I found the Greek easier than the Latin. Enache enchologos kaichologos in poston theon kaikotheon enchologon.
Oh shoot, no, I don't.
There's some Koine for you. Whereas my Latin sucks.
Oh, but that's sad. I'm sorry. Shit.
But yeah, I'll bring out the other breviariums, and you can have a peek and see what you think. And I'll show you the one which was mine, which is the modern one, as well. And yes, they have the exorcism prayers and such in them. So well, for the basic exorcisms, so absolutely they would be suitable in such a kit. I'm now starting to think what I might be able to find to use as a case and modify up and make it look really super cool.
Yeah, you can totally do that.
And then make a monster hunting kit.
Imagine that. To be so cool. You could even put it in your bone survival. Bone survival. Just for interest's sake. Your whole.
Possible. Oh, I need to do the next video for that. I stopped because of Christmas.
But I think people would be cool, like interested in that, honestly.
Survive against the things.
Yeah, because you can go really far into it. I mean, with this whole movie thing that came out, was it what? I don't know if you watched the movie 28 Days Later, and they were about the zombies.
A zombie movie.
I haven't seen that one. I shall make a note.
Really? And then it was 28 weeks later. And now on Netflix is 28 years later. So it's like, people might be really interested in that. But 28 Days Later is a very good zombie movie. I mean, one of the best.
Well, there's a point, because zombies aren't technically affected by the supernatural type, like holy things, but you would still need a defense against them, because they're
but
often used as like minions.
But you see what happened with 28 Days Later? It was something that happened in a pharmaceutical. It was nothing weird. It was an actual outbreak, a proper
Yes, but
viral outbreak.
biological thing. But then you would need enough physical defenses to hold off them.
But maybe watch it and see what it was about. And yeah, you could do a total video on that. That's like really interesting.
Okay, I will do some research.
It was actually one of the first zombie movies I ever watched, and I was like, really, like, what the heck?
I have to be honest that The Walking Dead, for example, was a little disappointing in terms of the
Yeah,
zombie.
no, it was
Whereas
nothing. Yeah. It was
World
nothing
War,
as good.
yeah, World War Z was definitely better.
But you see, 28 Days Later is very much more like World War Z as what it was.
You know, those zombies could shunt.
Yeah, 28 Days Later, it was based on um the rabies virus mostly.
That's
So
pretty cool.
the zombies were very aggressive and really fast. You know, like
That's what you want when it comes to zombies. You know, make it meaningful.
and that pretty much happened with 28 Days Later. But yeah, you must just have a look at that. It's really good.
I will look into it and see what we can do. So yeah, there is for you all of your monster kit. Make sure you cover your physical, alchemical, and holy, as is appropriate, your medical and armor, and your travel gear, so that you've got the basics for everything. And then when you go on a particular trip, the specifics for that thing you're hunting. So that's how you work out how to make a decent monster hunting. You know what it reminds me of, actually, is the Clive Barker, The Sandman. Did you ever read any of those books?
No,
Out of those books came John Constantine.
Constantine. Yeah.
Okay, he was a minor character in the original books, but he got popular in the comics, and so he became a whole thing. But John Constantine's, in the original stories, he was very much a monster hunter. And the
Yeah,
kind
yeah, he
of
was
gear
a
he
hunter,
had was
yeah.
cool.
Oh, he was brilliant. Oh shit, his whole story. Oh, I loved it.
Right?
Yeah.
So
There was supposed to
absolutely.
be, yeah. There was supposed to be another one made this year, but it never happened.
Well, maybe it will yet be. I'm looking forward to the idea. While he was very different from the original, Keanu Reeves didn't do a bad job of Constantine.
Yeah.
The original was, they Americanized him basically. The original, he's British. But nevertheless, and a Cockney, by the way, because I'm Cockney.
Oh, cool, man.
So it matters. But yeah,
It really.
there we have it. If you come up with any more ideas and things, let me know. And in the future, we will speak tomorrow on more of these things. I will try and find out about 28 Days Later and watch those and
Well, I
get
think
back.
you'll enjoy it. It's such a good movie. It really is.
Sounds good to me. And
I
yeah,
mean, that pretty much introduced me to horror. I mean, I
Love
had never
it.
watched horror movie until that day, and I was like, oh, whoa.
love it. And until then, Spooky, it is your job to find us that sword stick. I've got a sword baton, which is not quite the same. If I can find it, I'll dig it out. But of course, I do have my normal hiking staff. So I do have that. And I've got my sai and kama
Yeah,
and swords.
You'll have to show us.
I'll have to see what I can do. And we will do that in the future. But until then, we have gone over our 2-hour mark by a quarter of an hour. So we shall end things
I
here.
want
And
to ask you a question about that knife behind you.
the knife behind me.
What it's called?
Which one?
The square bladed one.
It's called a file.
File.
You mean the one that's right above my head
The square
now?
bladed one.
That's a cleaver,
Yes.
a butcher's cleaver.
Yeah, juice for chopping up the.
The heads.
Okay.
Yes. You can't just leave a vampire. You have to stake them,
Okay.
pin them, decapitate them. Werewolves
Butcher.
too.
Okay.
Otherwise, they find a way, bro. They find a way. and then they're cross with you personally. You don't want that. Too much negativity.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why I say if you have a decent axe, you can use it as both a mallet and a chopper.
Yeah, it's best to have a good axe for that.
So you can hammer in the stakes and then remove the head. So
Great
yeah,
plan.
absolutely both.
So, isn't there like coins or something that you also use to fight against monsters?
There are, in certain beliefs, certain coins work. They say, if you can find one of the original silver coins paid to Judas, that will ward off a vampire. Because they say he was the first vampire in one version. There are certain coins which are said to ward off evil that come, I think, from Greek mythology. And I know that certain coins are used in Chinese mythology, but they're against specific things rather than in general. So you definitely want to cover the general things that work first. And then when you're researching specifics, you know.
Yeah, I can remember a scene where a coin burns a vampire.
Okay, so
But I'm not sure if it's the coin that does it or if it's the type of material.
in the original story, the first vampire was Judas Iscariot because of his betrayal. And because of that, those 30 silver coins became potent against him. They're silver. So silver, we know, works against both werewolves and vampires. And secondly, it has to be one of the original 30 coins. Now, your chances of finding the original silver drachma from back then is kind of limited. But it is said that they are very powerful.
But yeah, I think we need to talk about that thing about the what makes me like made me think about the coins on the eyes when people.
But the coins on the eyes is to pay the ferryman.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot.
That's again, it's Greek. You're paying Charon for the trip across the river.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that.
So coins do feature a lot. I will find out more about coins because they do feature a lot in monster lore. I made a note. We will cover that. I don't know what else. I do know that one of the things. Well, we haven't answered still. Spooky, maybe you've got an answer. Do holy objects work because of their intrinsic being a holy object? Or does it require faith on your part, the monster hunter, or on the faith of the monster you're hunting?
Exactly. You see, and there's
You
the
see the
question of
question.
what people are not gonna like is like.
Shouldn't the object first be like enchanted?
Well, blessed.
Yeah, but you see, the problem is like what's happened here is everything is based on Christianity. You think you got crucifixes and
Well, there are versions of these kits from other cultures, but they use other holy objects.
but when people talk in general about fighting evil,
But now
like
my point is, if I'm Christian and I use an Indian or Hindu holy object, will it work for me? Because
don't
I
think it
don't
would.
believe. But you see, it's the thing. Does it depend on
Yeah.
my faith? Does it
Yeah,
depend on the
no.
faith of what I'm hunting? So if I go up against a Chinese vampire with a cross, he's going to be like, I don't believe. Tough.
No, I don't think.
What does
No, I
a
don't think it would
dreamcatcher
work.
actually do?
Well, dream catchers are meant to catch the Yinagalushi and other evil spirits. We call them
The
dream
problem is-
catchers.
Okay.
They're not. Remember that the spirits can travel through dreams. That's why we call it a dream catcher. But it's not about dreams. It's about the evil spirits that it catches.
Yeah, no, the thing is, I think the only way you can fight against evil, you have to believe that, it like it defeats the object, if you are like specific as a Christian or
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point.
you're using that object because you're channeling an energy, like faith for it. Now, if you don't
Precisely.
believe in that, then it's pointless trying to do that.
Exactly. I would agree. So it might work really, really well for you if you're a fervent believer in that, and not at all for me, who doesn't believe in that religion.
But I don't think what I think as, say now I'm Catholic or Christian, if I have my crucifix and I'm fighting against a demon, it doesn't matter what the demon believes in because I believe in it.
Yes, that would be a fair.
It's gonna repel that demon because that's what I believe. It doesn't matter what the demon
Correct.
believes.
Yes. It's
Because you're
about
using
purity
the-
of heart.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So it's
No,
not
I-
about the demons.
I tend to agree with Mickey on that. Which means if I'm an atheist and I pick up a cross or even holy water, it will do
If you
nothing.
don't have faith, if you don't
Right.
have faith, and you don't think anything behind it, you're not gonna.
Exactly.
So, Bones, choose your weapon.
Yeah, you better be careful.
Especially if you watch that movie, what was it called? Bloody heck. Okay, no, I'll tell you a movie later. Anyway, but there was a movie that was really. It was based on a true story. It was extremely powerful. Yeah. Deliverance. There you go.
Okay, yes. Yes, good point, actually.
That movie, that actual movie. I mean, the whole movie. She starred in. She never posed any it wasn't like she had any kind of relation to her. Eventually, to her mother opened up to her about religion. Yeah, it was quite interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. If you want to watch it, Deliverance.
Deliverance was very good.
Yeah.
Interesting point made. Well, I will do further research for you all, and I will carry it forward in the hope of answering some of the questions at least. We know that we've got a number of alchemical things which work, but that's because of the thing, and certainly a number of physical things that should work because, well, hammering in a stake is hammering in a stake. But the holy ones are definitely questionable, dependent on your faith. All right. We have a way forward for tomorrow. So until then, thank you so much for being a part. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a very
Yeah, thanks
interesting
a-
evening. And yeah,
Thanks a lot.
we shall find out more in the future. And until then, have a fantastic evening. See you tomorrow.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
cheers.
Cool.
Bye.
Cheers. Enjoy.